What's up, everybody? Duke here. Hope you all are being safe, sane, happy, and healthy through these really crazy and depressing times going on in our world today. We are officially on the week of Christmas. It is, what, 3 days till Christmas? Of course, by the time you guys hear this episode, it's going to be after Christmas. So, from all of us here on Paranormal Road, we hope you had a very safe and Merry Christmas. Joining me, as always, from the great state of Texas, my good buddy and co-host, Dave. Dave, welcome back to the show, man.
Thank you, sir.
And from the great
Renee,
state of...
welcome to you.
Yeah, Renee, from the great state of Maryland. She's known as Little Red the Fam on YouTube. Link to her YouTube channel will be in the description box below. Renee, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. Hello, everybody.
So, I really wanted to talk about this because it's been going on for well over a month now. All of these unknown drone sightings, primarily over the east coast of the United States. Big clusters of sightings in New Jersey for whatever reason. I don't know what's so special about New Jersey. I've even seen a few of them here where I live in New England. How about you guys? Have you guys personally seen anything unusual in the night skies?
I haven't, but again, I live Central Texas. There's no water around, and supposedly these things are being launched offshore, and they're hitting the coastal areas. So I haven't seen anything, and I look, when I take the dogs out, probably 5 times a night. Sometimes I go out at 2:30 in the morning with them if they wake me up. I just look around while they're doing their thing, and I haven't seen a thing.
Renee, how about you?
I've only seen all the Starlink things that, the whole line of stars. And of course, I'm outside with my dogs. I have 5 dogs, so I'm constantly in and out of the house with all the dogs. But that's what I started doing a map, and I showed you guys when I'm in a mom group just to see how many other people seen it. And it's not just the East Coast, it seems it's all around the water
Yeah,
and
around
even like other places.
yeah, definitely around the coastal areas of the country. Um, but I'll tell you, this is unprecedented. I mean, we have never in our lifetime seen anything like this over our country, and it has to make you wonder, like, what the hell is going on? The government does not seem to really care or be too concerned, but it's just a little strange that they're literally not doing anything about it. They've been on the news. They've thrown every excuse at us under the sun. One, I think it was some general was actually saying, "Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just other drones and hobbyist drones, commercial drones." And I guess the meeting that he was in, that he had just gotten out of, was actually classified. And a reporter goes, "Well, why was the meeting classified if that's all it is?" And I guess the general was just like, "Yeah, I can't tell you that." I'm like, what? Really? Talk about bold lying right to our faces.
Right, and some of the states that are on where I have it, like I said, the map I showed you guys, some of them have the MOA, which is some of the government drone training places. But if it was government, they would say, it's just us, don't worry about it. But they're just saying it's not them or not to worry about it. And people are just going crazy because it's not just one or two that are being trained, and it's a whole bunch that it's amazing how people are going outside out of social media and now outside enjoying looking at these drones. It's just it's like, why don't you just say it's us so people stop doing these recordings and posting and saying it's UFOs or aliens or trying to knock them down with the pistols or even taking lasers to blind them and get them out of the sky.
Well, at least say something to, like, calm people's nerves, so to speak. You got people going, what the hell is going on? Supposedly, there have been reports of these drones, whether they fly over a car, over your house, but they're changing the clocks, the digital clocks on, like, your microwave in your car. Some people who have their own drones attempted to launch their drones to try to get a better look at these things, and either the software on the drones won't allow them to take off, or they get up in the air on a full battery and their battery just dies at the snap of a finger and the drone falls out of the sky. So what kind of drone is up there and what kind of technology does this thing possess?
I was also reading an article that was supposedly written by a pilot who was saying that, going back to what you said, that the government's saying that, oh, this is just, more hobby drones and, commercial drones. But this pilot was saying that, yes, they're lit up, but the lights on them are not in the right configuration for pilots. Supposedly, and I don't know how true this is, drones have to have the same light configurations as airplanes. So you know what it is. And he was saying that the lights on these drones, yes, they're lit up, but the lights are not in the correct configuration for them to be identified as aircraft.
See, that's
Also,
weird.
there was supposedly in New Jersey, there was a state trooper who saw a real big bunch of the things coming off the ocean heading towards the shore. And I really didn't put much faith into it. It just, like another, internet story. Oh, yeah, cops saw it. Until they had a ranking official in the New Jersey State Police Department go on the news and say, yes, this was captured on this man's body cam footage. He saw a large number of them coming off the ocean towards the shore. And when he was asked, what do you mean a bunch? Like, 10, 12? He said more than 50.
Really?
Now, to my knowledge, and I've been looking, this body cam footage has not been released. So either this official in the New Jersey State Police Department is telling the truth, or he's been given a reason not to. You know what I mean? He's been told not to say what they really are.
So there's no confirmation of it. There's no confirmation
Correct.
whatsoever
No.
of that story. Nothing to
No.
back that story up.
No.
Just
No.
some official guy in some official capacity from New Jersey Police. Yeah, my guy saw 50 drones coming out of the ocean, heading towards shore, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But there's no body cam footage.
No. Well, supposedly there is. It just hasn't been released.
You know what? That smells...
And unfortunately,
that reeks of a
at this
government cover.
point, if somebody does file a Freedom of Information Act request, it's going to take too long before this drone footage is, before this body cam footage is released. By then, this will either be over, or we'll know what it was supposed to be or what it was. There's a lot of talk that there was a nuclear device that went missing in Europe, and it made its way to the United States on a ship, and that these drones are looking for radioactive signatures along the coastline. And New Jersey is a fairly major port. We have some really huge ports in this country: New York, New Jersey, Florida, Virginia. A lot of ports on the East Coast. And I mean, that's one of the stories that people are saying, is that they're searching for radioactive signatures along the coastline.
How the hell do you misplace a nuclear device?
It's Europe.
This isn't like misplacing your car keys. I mean, come on.
No, but
Well, they got an app for the drones too. So if they're registered, the government can go on this app and see every fly-in of each drone as long as it's registered.
Oh yeah, as long as each drone is registered, I'm sure the government can easily track these drones. My thing is, okay, I understand if these drones are military drones searching for a nuclear weapon or radioactive material or whatever. I understand the government wanting to keep that hush. You don't want to get people worked up for nothing, okay? Because what are the odds that it is truly here in the U.S.? It could have been a diversion if this thing was stolen or went missing, whatever, okay? but I find it hard to believe that the government refuses to give a logical or rational explanation to the public where it does not cause panic. Right now, you have people looking up at the sky and seeing these things and going, what the actual fuck? And there's no answers. You have officials having closed door meetings, coming out giving bullshit answers to questions, but yet saying the meeting itself was classified. If those drones are nothing more than hobbyist and commercial drones in the air, why do you have a classified meeting? What's so classified about it? You know what I'm saying?
No, that makes 100% sense.
It is something's just not adding up.
I don't think they have an actual story yet. And they don't want to get caught with their pants down if they say it's something and then it turns out to be something completely different. Now, if something does happen and one of these things is whatever, say one crashes, and let's face it, with the supposed amount of these things flying around, one of them's bound to crash at some point. And it is found, and it is found out that it's a enemy government. I'm just going to say enemy government. And they get caught with their pants down saying, oh, don't worry about it. It's just, all these Christmas drones. Everybody got drones for Christmas. That's going to be a hard story to walk back if somebody finds this thing in their backyard and it's found out to be that it's, Chinese, Iranian, North Korean, whatever the case may be. That's going to be a hard story to walk back. So I think right now they're still trying to get all their eggs in one basket. But if you guys have noticed, this is kind of fallen off the radar.
Oh,
there's
it really has.
The stories have just stopped.
It really has. The news is no longer covering it. But if you go on TikTok, there's still a lot of people who are doing live TikToks looking at the sky, trying to see if they can't see it. So the general public is still looking into it and still, very curious about it. But the news media outlets have pretty much stopped reporting on it.
Right. They're just done with it. And there's also, unfortunately, there are a ton of conspiracy theories about this.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them is whenever something major is about to happen in our country, like we're about to inaugurate a new president, there's always that diversion to, hey, look over here while we do something over here.
Oh, it's always been.
And that's what a lot of people are saying, too, that these are just a diversion. So the government, you're not looking at the government, you're looking at the sky. It could be some truth to that. There might not be. Unfortunately, we don't know because the stories have stopped.
It's stopped.
They're just gone.
Yeah, they're just gone. Another theory is that this could be the beginning of Project Bluebeam. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. That's a tall tale as far as I'm concerned. And I don't mean that in the case that it couldn't happen. I just mean that there has to be a lot of players involved because this is a worldwide conspiracy theory at this point. It's not. There's nothing proven. And the guy that came up with the theory, really don't put much faith in his story, but whatever. If that were the case, this would have to be, hundreds, if not thousands of people involved at once. And I don't see that happening. Because they said that it was going to be either a fake alien invasion or something to that effect that would kick this off. And you have too many, like you said, there are people on TikTok that are still doing this every day, looking at the skies. You can't say it's a fake something invasion, whatever you want to call it, alien invasion, whatever, but still have hundreds of people, again, if not thousands, posting what they're seeing every single day on TikTok. Yeah, it would kind of go along with the story, But unless something major happens, like a city explodes, whatever, you can't use the fake alien invasion story in 2025. You could have in 1956. You could have been hell. You could have done it in 1996.
Well,
But
Mhm.
for
you
you
know,
to come along and say that, oh, Seattle just got blown up, you're going to have millions of people going, I live in Seattle. We're fine.
well,
That's
especially
why I just don't put a whole
nowadays.
lot of faith in. What's that?
Especially nowadays where communication is very
Yeah,
easy.
right.
It's an alien. Take me to your leader because I need out of here.
Exactly. There is another theory that I was reading about that this could be a test for some sort of major event, like, for example, I'm just going to use the Super Bowl as the event, that there could be a mass shooting at a sporting event. There could be a bomb exploded at a sporting event, and that they're trying to test how close they can get to these things without being completely noticed or whatever the case may be. But again, these are all theories. This could be nothing. This could literally be nothing.
Well, it's
Or it could be
definitely
the start of the
something.
next World War.
It's definitely something. I don't know what exactly. Whether it's aliens, the government conspiracy, whatever. It's definitely something. But I find it hard to believe. I mean, for all we know, this could be the start of an invasion of our country. I mean, we haven't seen an invasion since what? World War II? The attack on Pearl Harbor?
Or,
The United States hasn't been
or
invaded since then?
Well, technically, we
right,
were
but
invaded
could
during
it be,
World War II in Alaska, but go on.
Well, whatever. I mean, but you know
or
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or could it be like Elon Musk, t seeing how many people are on social media, how many people they could control, since, he is now going to be in the Senate with Trump, and he does all this Starlink and ever the Tesla. Maybe he's doing like a project to see how many people are out there looking at this stuff, how many people they can control with going on with the whole in the air and all that. That's what I was thinking was, are they trying to see how many people they can get under their control with just drones? It'll be the next step. What else?
Well, it's leaving people wondering what the hell is going on. I mean, you've got every conspiracy theorist going nuts out there saying this is the start of Project Blue Beam. This is the government searching for a nuclear weapon that's gone missing. This is aliens. They're about to land, and we're about to be told that aliens do exist. Which I'm sorry, but the government themselves came out and said, yes, aliens do exist. And how many news people made a big deal about it? Zero. I mean, come on.
Well,
If
again,
it's nuclear, it's in someone's garage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that whole thing again was just a diversion. That
Exactly.
was hey, look over here, we're doing something over here. You know what I mean? They can say that all they want until they produce a body. You're still going to have a vast majority of the people going, "You're lying." Personally, I believe
I
I'm in
mean,
the minority.
who knows?
That's just the way it is. I mean, if the two of you do it, I mean, the three of us are in the minority if we're believers in alien technology being visited. But the vast majority of people don't believe it. And even if the government says, "Yeah, we know there are aliens," you got to have a lot of people going, "Bullshit! Show me the body."
So, is there any confirmation of drones still in Jersey? Have we heard about
I
that
haven't
Uh,
heard a
yet?
thing in days.
Because, like I said,
uh,
it's. Go ahead, Remy.
I heard one last night, so it's still going on. But then again, the meteor shower was going on yesterday too. So I don't know if they were just saying it's drones, but the meteor shower was happening too. So it was like a ball of fire. I'm like, I don't know if that was a drone or the meteor shower that's going on right now.
Well, that's another thing too. Is there's a lot of things that go on in the skies around the globe. And I think you're going to have a percentage of these sightings that are just airplanes, that are just shooting stars, that are just things that are supposed to be there, but people are going, "Oh, look what it's a drone." Well, it's not, because you know it's flying wrong, or it's moving erratically, or a drone can't do what that just did. Whatever the case may be, I think a lot of these sightings are false.
They could very easily be. I mean, we misidentify things every day. I mean, myself included. You think you're seeing something and it turns out to be not.
Well,
Yeah.
your brain wants to believe. That's the thing.
Oh, well, exactly.
You
Everybody
see
wants to
something and your
believe.
brain wants to believe that, hey, I just saw a UFO. Well, it was just a plane.
Now, Renee, you haven't seen any drones in your area, have you?
No, and I haven't seen them, but I've been seeing everybody else saying it, and it's close to my home that I've been watching. Of course, I'm on social media. I've been researching since for a whole week and just watching everything. And it's like maybe it's the neighbors putting a drone up so they can catch another drone. Heck, you guys seen my drones? It's like, they're registered. What if I just bomb them up and go look for something? And they could, people use them for searching for bodies. It could be thermal and people are looking for a body and they just seen a drone. It's like, heck, I can just pop my one up and people are like, oh, look, I saw a drone. And it could have just been mine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard to tell at night what you're
And let's
seeing.
face it, how many amateur drone pilots right now are trying to chase these drones?
Oh, I'll guarantee you almost every one of them, especially if
So,
they're
I mean, for the
conspiracy
amount of
based.
these secret drones that are up there, there's probably an equal amount of obvious drone pilots that are up there, just doubling the number of sightings.
Oh, that
You know,
wouldn't surprise me in the least. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. I'm sorry,
now,
but I'm a firm believer that if the government has said this is not us, we're not doing this, we're not controlling these things, and if the government says, well, it's not an enemy state or it's not a foreign government controlling these things, we don't know what it is. Guess what? Game on. Start blowing these things out of the sky. I don't care if they're the size of SUVs or not. It's an
well, their
invasion.
big thing with that too is they'll come right out and they'll say, well, what if these things have a payload? What if this thing, we shoot it down and it crashes into someone's house?
You know
You
what?
know,
Evacuate people in an area and then shoot the damn thing down. You know,
that's easier said than
the
done. You
government
can't,
loves to pay for everything else. Why not pay to fix that dude's house if it crashes?
but
I mean,
you can't organize a mass evacuation in minutes. I mean, think
no, I
about this:
agree with you about it.
when a natural disaster is coming and they know about it, it takes days to evacuate an area. You can't just jump on Facebook and say, everybody in Hoboken, New Jersey, get the hell out of town. We're about to blow up a drone.
No,
You know the
I
mass
completely
chaos that would cause.
no, I completely agree. I just feel like, okay, if these things are coming from the ocean, why isn't the government sitting there on the shoreline and as they see these things, blow them out of the sky right then and there?
I will give you that, or have some sort of naval or air force just patrol. You know,
Something.
just flying around waiting for one of these things to come in. They recover planes that crash in the ocean all the time. I'm sure you could recover a drone if you shot it down.
Of course,
They had
especially
no
if it's the
Well,
problem with
size of
that
an
balloon
SUV.
once they shot that down.
Exactly. Especially if this thing is the size of an SUV like they claim it is.
and they have training bases that have drones in the states that they're seeing them. So I know they have their drones up doing the training to help the new military that are going into the drone, environment. I know they're up there watching these things, so they know what's going on.
Well, let's just go one step further. Satellite imagery. They have to have satellites that are looking down at that area and say, okay, these things are coming this way. They're coming from this longitude and latitude, or whatever the case may be. They're not the highest things in the sky right now, we have satellites with imagery that could figure out where these things are coming from pretty quickly, I would have to assume.
You would think with the technology that they possess. I mean,
And let's face it, the technology they possess is way more advanced than they'll ever let us know.
of course it is. But you can't. If they were looking for one of us, they would damn well know exactly where we were. Okay.
Oh, exactly. They
You're
were
not
able to
gonna.
identify every single person that was at the Capitol on January 6th through
Exactly.
facial recognition. So you can't tell me that they can't figure out where these things are coming from.
Exactly. They're just feeding us a line of bullshit. That's end of discussion. That's all there is
If,
to it. But it
if you have a
bothers
phone,
me.
they can find you.
Yeah. It just bothers me that, they're not even trying. They had a better story to cover up the Roswell crash. And that was what, the 60s, 50s?
47.
40,
50s.
all right, so 47.
1947.
1947, they came up with a better cover up story for the crash in Roswell. And they can't come up with one for this now here in 2024? Come on, man.
Again, though, it was easier to cover your ass back then.
There was no social media or
There was
internet.
no social media. There's hardly any television. I mean, you got your information from the radio or from a newspaper. It was a simpler time. It was easier for government cover-ups.
Yeah, but the government, well, that's true too. It was easier for government cover ups. But you mean to tell me they can't say, hey, look, it's a military training exercise. Don't worry about it.
But
Done
again,
deal.
what if something happens? What if something happens? Then they're caught with their pants down.
Well, yeah, something's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
If you say, hey, this is just us, don't worry about it, and then one of these things crashes into the White House, what's your answer to that?
Somebody's got some splaining to do.
Exactly. And then if they do find out that it was Russian, Chinese, North Korean, whatever the case may be, you didn't give the people the right information to prepare themselves for something like this. So you can't just come out and give a definitive answer and say it's A, because when B happens, your ass is in the wind.
See, I don't think it's a foreign. I don't think it's a foreign government doing this. That's the one thing
I did with those balloons.
The balloons, yeah, but the drones.
The drones, I'm not convinced myself.
I'm not convinced that these drones are from China or Russia.
No, I
They
am
wouldn't be able to
leaning more
reach.
towards that they are looking for something.
If they were from a foreign government, there would have to be like they've said before, a ship near our coast that these things that they could control these things from. You can't just send them over from Russia and expect them to, still have control. We can't even do that from here.
You have to have some sort of base to launch these things from, whether it be on an island, on a ship, something.
But if it was on a ship, the Navy or the Coast Guard would be already on it and get them out before they even pass the coast into our state.
Exactly. The Coast Guard would be up their ass right then and there. You know that. I know that.
Well, the Navy too. The Navy would be all over it.
And the Navy would be all over it. Yeah. But I'm not convinced that it's a foreign nation that is doing this.
No, I agree with you, and in my opinion, they're looking for something.
Exactly. For this to die down as quickly as it started, to me, I just think it's the beginning of something. I don't know what. I don't want to say World War III. I don't want to say, E.T.'s going to come down and finally say, hey guys, I'm real. But I think it's definitely the beginning of something. Because
I don't think it has anything to do with aliens whatsoever. This is 100% man-made.
It is definitely 100% man-made.
This is us, or people.
Whatever it's leading to can't be good. That's for sure. I'm 100% convinced of that. Whether or not
if it's alien, it'll be faster.
Yeah, whether
it'll be done already.
Yeah, exactly. But whether or not it's the beginning of World War III, who knows? Maybe there is a foreign government out there with technology that we don't know about, who's surveying, the coastline, coastal cities, the general population, I mean, who knows what they're up to? You know, I just think it's not going to end well. I think 2025 is going to be a very shit year, to be honest with you. I really do. I just,
Thanks
Yeah,
for
I don't
jinxing
agree
it.
with that. I think this is going to go away. We're never going to find out exactly what this was. With the news media dropping it as quickly as they did, you're never gonna know what it was. Nobody's going to come out 2, 3, 5, 6 months from now and go, "Oh yeah, remember those drones? Well, that was this." No, it's done. As far as the news media is concerned, it's over
well, that,
until something happens.
remember that shooting a few years back in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Where that, and how quickly did that disappear from the news media? Like 2 days later, it was like it never happened. There was
And let me tell
no.
you something a little bit weird about that. The area that it happened in, the where the event was completely roped off and had 24-hour police surveillance around the facility for months.
Really?
Really?
For months, there was that area was completely off limits.
See, that's weird. Like I said, it just dropped from the news. Like, not even what, 2 days after the fact?
Well, a lot of
I thought it was
times
about
things will
like
drop from the
five
news when they
days.
don't meet the narrative. When they don't fit the narrative of what the news media wants to push, they just drop it.
Mm.
If they find out that, whatever, a shooter isn't there, hasn't have the same political views as them, they drop it. If they find out that, the person has a different belief system than them, they'll push it. If it was the same, they drop it. And unfortunately, we are under the thumb of media as far as information like this goes. Because we all know you cannot rely on social media to be truthful. I mean, you can't rely on the media to be truthful either, but if the media doesn't want you to know something, you don't know it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but the news turns everything around anyway, so it's like you really want to believe other people and their point of view more than the news, because the news is just going to twist, turn, and push you another way that you're like, okay, I believe them and be on your merry little way. Like, no, I believe people that have proof.
But that proof has to be solid. You can't, again, you have way too many people, in this case, for example, just breaking out their cell phone, taking a picture of a light in the sky and go, "Oh, look, it's a drone." Well, wait a minute. You're in central Nebraska. There have been no sightings in central Nebraska. Why is it there? You don't, if you're going to believe someone, then this proof has to be rock solid, in my opinion. You have to see the, CCCP on the side of this thing to make me believe that in central Nebraska, there's a drone. Um, on the coastline, again, I think probably half the number of these things that are being recorded are commercial or, excuse me, are private drones. Just up there, either
Mm.
looking for drones, looking for attention, or looking for something else, like Renee said. And I mean, they could be someone missing and they're using infrared technology to look for a missing kid or a missing person that was on a hike and they can't find them. There's It's going to be saturated, and to pick out what is rock solid evidence is near impossible.
Well, before we before we end up straying too far off the subject, we are pretty much out of time. So
Oh, we could do this for hours.
we definitely could. Dave, you got anything you
Right.
want? Dave, you got anything you want to add before we sign off?
No, like I said earlier, I'm not 100% convinced that this is anything extremely bad, but I do think they're looking for something.
Uh,
And what that is, we'll probably never know.
I agree. Renee, how about you?
Yeah, they're definitely looking for something for everywhere that I've seen. But if it's aliens, they can take me because, I need a new life. but but I know it's not aliens. So definitely they're searching for something that is around, but it's not towards Canada. So it's something down here.
I agree with you there too, 100%. Guys, we appreciate you taking the time out to watch this episode of Paranormal Road. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. Leave your comments in the comment section below. From all of us here, have a very safe and happy new year. And until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the flip side.